Good morning from me. Good morning from Miss Pixie. Hi Pixie, you say hello to the people? You say hi. Hi, who's there? She's doing really well. For all of you who've been asking about her, we've got her on a really good regimen at the moment, and I think it's really helping, and I'll run through it at the moment, but I'm just making us some breakfast. It's a beautiful sunny day today here. It was really cold last night. It went down to, I think, around 0. But I've been really enjoying the cold. Like, I actually sleep with my window wide open all night long. I only put the heater on sort of early hours of the morning, just before sunrise, and then, warm it up just enough to get out of bed, and then I'm opening the whole place up again and letting the fresh air in. I don't know, I'm just a winter girl. I feel so much better in the cooler weather, and anyway, I'm just about to make myself some breakfast, and I'll chat more about what we've been up to. So Pixie and I have already been outside, put my bikini on, put the blanket out the back. We did some grounding, got some vitamin D and some red light therapy, which is very helpful for both of us, and read another chapter of Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, which I absolutely love. I am going to read you a little bit of that too, because I keep dog-earing little aphorisms. So basically each chapter has a series of little aphorisms, little short passages that you can kind of digest. Sometimes I have to read them twice just to soak it all in, but they're really, really life-affirming stuff. It's really good. So I'm making one of my pancakes, my famous Lisa's Magic pancakes. Honestly, they just get better and better and better. I've actually been putting a little bit more than 2 tablespoons in, like maybe 2.5, or 2 really heaped ones, and it makes them even thicker and fatter. So there's a tip. So what with Pixie? Okay, so good news. She has not had one of those all night long incidences of coughing since the last time I posted. A lot of people had said get a second opinion. Now, and I will try to address everybody's suggestions and concerns and ideas with regards to what is actually going on with Pixie. Some of them I got a little bit offended by, because it was like, I'm a good dog parent. I mean, obviously she's my assistance dog, and there are certain requirements with regards to that as far as maintaining veterinary care. She is regularly wormed. She's regularly vaccinated. It's not necessarily that I agree with, vaccinating dogs for everything. My glasses are a bit fuzzy and I can't see you properly. Let me just give them a little bit of a wipe. But that's the rules. I have to adhere by that. So, of course, for the people who asked, is it heartworm? Is it kennel cough? Have you wormed her? Yes, she gets wormed every 3 months. She is on monthly heartworm treatment. Again, not one of my favorite things, but it's especially essential when we're up in Queensland, because there are a lot of ticks around. So I'm very conscious of keeping her parasite free. That is not the issue. The other thing is, and I think some people probably didn't realize because they hadn't seen the previous video, I did go to the vet and have a chest x-ray, because my main concern was, after looking up lots and lots of, and that's the thing you guys need to understand, like, if I tell you what's going on from my world, I'm not expecting you to solve my problems. I'm just sharing my experiences with you. So trust me, I am a deep diver. I'm a deep thinker. I have plenty of time on my hands to literally just research things that are applicable to my own health and obviously my dog's health. And there's nothing that anyone probably suggested that I hadn't already looked into or discovered myself, as same with my rheumatoid arthritis, and always looking for natural approaches. So, but we had the 2 things I suspected it might have been, possibly judging from other people's stories, was a heart problem or a tracheal collapse. So that was the main thing we were looking for. So the x-rays were going to give the definitive result of that. She has had her heart listened to through a stethoscope several times. I've been reassured consistently that there is no sign of murmur or mitral valve collapse or anything like that, because that creates a distinctive sound that you can hear, and she doesn't have that. That, coupled with the fact that her heart x-ray showed a normal sized heart. So if it's sort of like a once heart disease progresses, their heart's pumping harder and harder and harder, what happens is that the heart muscle actually grows and changes shape, and the heart becomes more like a rounded shape rather than the sort of a heart shaped. So that's what they were looking for. The other thing that can happen is there can be fluid buildup on the lungs or in the heart area, like anywhere around it could build up with fluid. We did send those x-rays off to a specialist to analyze, because all the vets in the clinic that I had been to, they all had looked at it and weren't sure what that strange shadow anomaly was on the x-ray. The specialist came back and said heart was fine, that was just there was nothing like of concern. It wasn't neoplasia, which meant it wasn't cancer, which I was very relieved about, but the coughing persisted. So of course I went back and was like, she's still coughing, what's the problem, you know? And again, the heart was listened to. Now, if I had got and the tracheal, the trachea, which was clearly evident, was fine. There was no sign of it. That's not to say it couldn't be very, very early stage tracheal collapse, because it might not show up yet. And she has always had this thing where either if she's really thirsty or if she drinks water, sometimes she will have just a little cough after that. So there's, you know, the vet said that with these little dogs, there sometimes can be, you know, little anomalies in their, in that part of their, you know, nose, throat, respiratory system, that's the word. But there was nothing evident from that. Now, for me to go and get a second opinion and go back to another vet, I think that they would have said and done the exact same things. Like the x-rays were done. I also had a full blood panel blood test done on her, and they came back fine. There's nothing wrong with her liver or kidneys or anything like that. Like everything was normal. No sign of infection, no obvious sign of inflammation. There was nothing like that. So I didn't put that in, but I'll put it in here.
Bloods, yeah. Red blood cell count looking fine, white blood cell count looking fine, so really unremarkable on the hematology.
Yeah.
Same with her, what we call biochemistry. Glucose looks good, kidney values all look normal.
Perfect.
Liver enzymes again look fine.
Yeah.
So no alarm bells on that.
So that's all fine, and they're all the options that I had considered most. Now, having said that it could possibly be early stage tracheal collapse, a couple of things I've noticed is that she's always had a collar and lead, and when she was getting really excited when she saw somebody, yes, the jumping up and down and getting excited was one thing, but often she'd lunge on the lead, you know, she'd lunge, and obviously the collar is not good for that. So I've switched her to a harness. She's not very good at walking on a harness. She doesn't, like normally on the collar and lead, she heels, she stays right beside me, and she never pulls, and I never let her pull. It's always a loose lead. That's part of being a service dog. So that, you know, that had never really been part of the problem before. But I have put her on a harness, and we've been, you know, practicing walking. She's back to being able to walk around the block with me, which is amazing. There's also an amazing vet on YouTube called Veterinary Secrets, and he's lovely, and he's got lots of suggestions which I took on board, and I actually did reach out to him and he got back to me, which was really lovely. And so there's a few things that I've taken from various places, and part of them is, you know, based on some of the suggestions you guys made as well. Honestly, there's been such a multifaceted approach to healing Pixie at the moment that I'm doing so many things, it'll be hard to pinpoint exactly which thing is the thing that's working, bearing in mind that we won't 100% know what the underlying cause is, but it is possible that it could be early stage lung disease, as I mentioned in the last video, and the vet had suggested that as an option as well. And she'd said it's really important to make sure that if that's the case, because I explained to her about the mold situation, don't expose her to any strong scents, or, you know, run an air purifier. I tried to work out, is it humidity, lack of humidity, is it cold and heat, is it all sorts of variables with climate. I've experimented with all that and it seemed to make no difference. And I tend to only use natural products. I don't wear perfume or scented deodorant. And I started thinking to myself, okay, like, why does this keep happening every 2 weeks? Because it was almost like clockwork. Every 2 weeks we'd have these all-night episodes of coughing and devastating. And then I was like really thinking hard about that. And I'm like, okay, what has changed? Like, first of all, it was like, what do you do every 2 weeks that might be different? Because I've eliminated all the other variables in the environmental. And I studied homeopathy, so I'm very in tune with addressing the root cause, and I don't like the way most medical models just tend to suppress symptoms rather than address the root cause. If you can address the root cause, you can heal better, you know. So I'm looking for the underlying cause all the time without really knowing 100% what it is. It could be tracheal collapse, it could be early lung disease to the point where neither is actually showing up on the diagnostic tests. So what do I do every 2 weeks without fail? I do my laundry. I mean, I wash every week, but every second week is wash the bedding day. So I wash my quilt cover, my sheets, my pillows. I wash, Pixie's got her little fairy princess bed there, and because it's a pink fluffy bed, it's quite hard to wash. So I just put a little dog blanket over the top of that, and I'll wash all of this at the same time. That's one thing I do, and I am very methodical about doing things at the same time. Monday is washing day, and every fortnight I do this routine. And I was like, thought about the timing, and I'm like, it was around that time. Okay, what is different from the last couple of months than previous to that? Well, what it was I remembered I had bought a big bottle of really beautiful organic laundry detergent that used to be able to get at Coles and Woolies and at the supermarket. You only needed the tiniest little bit, and it lasted me for ages. And I ran out, and I was like, I couldn't find it. I went online to see if it looked like the company had completely closed down. I was like, oh damn, that's disappointing. And I don't know why I went down this route, but I had, when I'd stayed with my friends in their caravan up on the Gold Coast, I'd done all the laundry and washed all the bedding after that. Just, you know, when I stayed in their caravan, obviously I wanted to wash the bedding. I'd done it in their laundry. They'd said if you need to do any washing, and I'd done some washing, and I'd washed all their stuff as well. And I'd noticed that my clothes had come out like super clean, like everything was just so much cleaner than this lovely organic detergent was cleaning my things. And I'd said to the lady, like, oh, you know, the ladies whose house it was, like, oh my God, that detergent is amazing, you know. And the detergent that I used then was Omo Ultimate. So she said, oh, you know, it's quite expensive, but I only buy it when it's on special. So I needed a new detergent. So I had gone and bought this Omo Ultimate. And it does have quite a strong scent. And I don't usually like strong scents, but I didn't have a problem with this particular one. But on hindsight, I'm like, oh my gosh, that could be it, because of course Pixie, she's in a little tent, right? So if her blanket has just been washed with this stuff, that's like, it's in her face, like she's fully breathing it a lot more, and my whole bedding is with it as well. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, could that be it? You know, I mean, it would be caused still by an underlying lung condition. The fact that she's still coughing now, every now and then, indicates that there is some underlying lung condition or something going on. But it had been exacerbated by this stuff. I tell you what. So when I did my washing this week on Monday, as always, Monday's washing day. It's like the song Monday's washing day. It's a silly old song, and for some reason it's stuck in my head, and Monday's always been washing day. And also because I like to have routine, and that's just how I get things done. So I did my washing on Monday, and I washed everything. Actually, when I was thinking about this idea, I was talking to my friend Sam on the phone, and I was like, oh my gosh, it could be that, you know. And so straight away, as soon as I got off the phone from her, I took the blanket that I had just washed from Pixie's bed, put it into the laundry pile to, you know, wash it again, and I pulled out of the cupboard a towel that I hadn't used for months and months and months, which is actually what's on her bed now, that little towel. So I went to the shop again, and yeah, even if I lost the $30 that the bottle of detergent had cost me, I didn't care at that point. I was like, I'll do anything to solve the problem. And instead I bought the Omo sensitive one, which is just as good as cleaning, and it has no scents at all. It says dermatologically tested, gentle on skin, fragrance free. I don't know. It's probably not as earth friendly and good for you as the organic stuff that I can't get a hold of. But this just, it cleans really well. Anyway, so I experimented with this, and when I did my laundry on Monday, I used this just to see how we went. And, you know, as an experiment, if it turns out that it didn't work and she reacted in any way, then I would have thrown it out. $30 gone, I don't care. It's just, it's gone. You know, I will keep hunting for the solution. Anyway, she slept through the night on washing day. And now, like, I didn't want to count my chickens before they hatched, but it was like, if we've gone 2 whole weeks without an incident, then I'll feel like I can shout it from the rooftops and say about everything that I've done to help get my dog back to health. I haven't cured anything. Either of these things are not curable, and they are possibly progressive, but I am managing it as best I can with a few things that I'll show you. With regards to her feed, unfortunately, as much as I would love my dog to be a carnivore, and I would love to feed her like a raw diet or a just meat diet, because that's what dogs should have, I have tried so hard. I've had her since she was 7 months old, and since then we have tried plain chicken, just boiled chicken breasts. We've tried kangaroo beef, fish, sardines, like all sorts of actual meat products. She cannot handle them, and it's something to do with her digestive system. Is just, she did have, it got so bad one time when somebody gave her some roast beef, just thought they were doing her a favor, and she ended up so sick that she was in hospital in the vet overnight on a drip and nearly died because she had this explosive bloody diarrhea. Took her to the vet, and she was tested then and was diagnosed with Clostridium perfecans, I think it's called, which is like a thing that they can pick up. It was while we were up in Mullaney, and the vets up there said it's quite common around places where there's cow farms and stuff, that it's in the sort of rotting vegetation. It can be in rotting meat and things like that. And ever since then, she's been particularly sensitive to anything. And they were the ones that said put her on this Hills prescription. I think it's called digestive biome or something like that. Anyway, it's horrible, and it's grains, but it's got denatured protein in it, whatever the hell that is. I don't know, but it's the only food she can tolerate, and it's the only food that doesn't give her diarrhea. I've tried cooking up my own stuff with, chicken and rice, and honestly, there's nothing I haven't tried in terms of natural food options, but we've kind of stuck with this one because it's the only one she can take. So I'm supposed to be making breakfast here. I'm getting distracted. Too many things going on. I can't focus on many things at the same time. Let me get the gelatin into this. So what I've been doing with her food, because I did try putting a little bit of sardine in it. No, that didn't work. I actually I bought some, and this was suggestions from the holistic vet as well, some Greek yogurt. So she's been having I got some organic pot set yogurt. You just love it when I pull out the jar. And all I've been doing is in her, so I put the scoop of the prescription diet in her bowl. I get 1 teaspoon of this and put some filtered water in it and mix it all around to make like a yogurty gravy for her biscuits. And then I'm actually putting the same stuff I put in my pancakes. And this is not necessarily anyone's advice. This is just me thinking, well, this has really helped me. It's helped me so much with joint issues and gut issues and everything issues. And I thought, if it is a collapsed trachea type situation, having some, you know, collagen and gelatin, that anything that helps joints, because obviously, you know, the trachea is lots and lots and lots of little cartilaginous things, then that would be really helpful for her. So then once I've made the little yogurt thing, I put in a teaspoon of the gelatin and mix that around it as well. And she's been having that in her breakfast for the last couple of weeks. So, and at night I just do the yogurt, not the gelatin, just once a day with the gelatin. Fantastic results. Her gut has been beautiful. She is so bouncy and happy, and like, she's like a puppy again. She's running around and she's just bouncy and being really hilarious, silly zoomies, and just, it's changed her life. The other thing is, so the last thing the vet had put her on, they'd originally put her on prednisone. I hate prednisone. It's a steroid. It's really got lots of dangerous long-term side effects, and it's really screwed me up when they put me on it. It made me really angry. It made me unable to sleep, and it gave me osteoporosis. So I'd already sort of just given it to her for the first week, just to sort of, if it was an inflammatory thing, it does work. But then I kind of tapered her off it myself before the vet recommended. When I took her back, because it had happened again, the vet said, put her back on the prednisone. Gave me another prescription. I didn't put her back on the prednisone. The other thing she gave me was codeine liquid syrup type stuff, which when I peeled back the vet label, actually, if I've got it still here, no, I've put it away, was actually just human codeine cough syrup stuff. Didn't particularly like giving her that, but I also didn't want her to be in pain, and that was meant to be a cough suppressant. So, you know, that first night or two when she was still coughing, I did give her that for 2 nights. After the last vet visit, I gave her that. She didn't like it very much, and I had a little taste of it, and it's disgusting, and I don't blame her. It's also an opioid. I don't particularly want my dog to be addicted to opioids. So I was very wary of that as well. And on the morning after the second day of having the codeine, she woke up vomiting, which apparently is a side effect of the codeine. And, you know, I looked it up and it said, yes, the vomit can cause vomiting, but this usually only occurs, you know, in the early days, because as they get used to it. I don't want her to get that used to it. So we stopped the codeine after 2 days. The gabapentin, that was what the doctor had prescribed, the vet I mean, for kind of more for her anxiety, like if she's really stressing because she's having one of those attacks and it's really bad, the gabapentin would ease her anxiety. That's the same medication they gave her before they took her in to have the x-ray. And she said, just keep that for as you need it. Well, as I said, we haven't had another one of those all-night episodes since that last one. So I haven't needed it. What I'd already been doing at that point, which I showed you in the last video, was giving her a little tiny bit, like a quarter teaspoon of that, just letting her lick it off the spoon, only if she's coughing. So basically I'm just doing that if she coughs, straight away with that, with the manuka honey, and straight away with the bark flower rescue remedy. Those two things are if she coughs and I don't want it to escalate into a full-blown all-night coughing episode. That really helped. The other thing I got for her, and this was something, I think somebody might have suggested it in the comments, and it just triggered a reminder for me, because this was something that my doctor, my awesome doctor up in Mullaney, when I had the mold issue last year and I got like really, really sick, like I was coughing, I couldn't breathe. I ended up in emergency a couple of times because I really thought I was going to die, because my breathing, I just couldn't breathe at all. It was like so scary. And they did chest x-rays, a couple of chest x-rays over the course of a couple of weeks, and it did develop into pneumonia. And you know, my doctor, who's quite alternative, knows that I want natural approaches to things. had suggested that a good way to kind of detoxify from mycotoxins and heal the whole system was black seed oil. And I'd actually bought a little bottle of black seed oil from the health food shop when I was there, and just had, I think I was having like a teaspoon. I think he said a teaspoon a day or something like that. Like, you don't need very much, and that really did help me. So I couldn't find it like readily on hand without ordering it online, and I'm not really into ordering anything online at the moment. So, but I did get this one, Caruso's black seed oil capsules from Chemist Warehouse. We've been going to Chemist Warehouse a lot. Like, it cost me a lot of money lately, Pixie. Like, she's getting better supplementation than me, although I have been taking these as well since I got them. So it's working well for both of us. Amazing. It's actually, black seed oil is cumin seed oil, and in Middle Eastern countries they really, they really revere its healing benefits for all sorts of things. It's quite spectacular. I really want to get this sorted, and I want to do everything I can to help her. So I think the combination of black seed oil, gelatin, and the little bit of yogurt and in her meal has been really helpful. With no medication whatsoever, she has not had another attack, and I feel much better about that because I just don't want, I was seriously concerned at how the vets were just, I guess it's the same with doctors, they just write you a prescription and send you home with a bunch of toxic stuff. They don't tell you like the downside of what can happen. Anyway, I have to turn my fairy lights off because I need to, I'll turn this light on instead. That's better. Yeah, they don't tell you the downsides. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of the, medical pharmaceutical system. I've got to tell you, it's never done me any favors. And when I first got diagnosed with rheumatoid, and I was really bad. Like, doctors said that was the worst case they'd ever seen. They said I'd never walk again, like it was bad. And they experimented on me. They tried this drug, they tried that drug, they tried, 2 years of absolute sheer hell, when similar to what, I think that's what it was. It brought a bit of medical PTSD up for me going through this with my dog, because for 2 whole years they were experimenting on me with this, that, and the other drug, because they can't guarantee that this drug might work for somebody else, but it might not work for you, right? So then they'd try me on one drug, and you had to be taking it for at least 12 weeks before they could ascertain whether it was a success or a failure. And because of Medicare not wanting to pay for the really, really expensive drugs, they start you off on the cheapest sort of thing. If that doesn't work, they try the next thing up, and the next thing up, and the next thing up. So, like, I think it was 7 medications at 12 weeks each, and nothing was working. And in the meantime, my health was deteriorating so badly that I was completely incapacitated, because every joint in my body had locked up, like locked it into a position. It was torture. And I remember crying and getting really angry at my rheumatologist. I'm sick and tired of being a science experiment. Like, why can't you just give me something that works? And they didn't ever explain the system to me, but I've told other people who've been diagnosed with rheumatoid, this is the system, is that they'll start you off on the cheap stuff, they'll wait, they'll see, they'll try combinations of things. If that doesn't work, and then eventually, when all else fails, you get approved for a specialist. It's like a special order from Medicare. You have to have special authority medication, which is the biologics, which are really just really severe immunosuppressants. So I was given, the first one was Humira, and that's an injection you have to give to yourself in your tummy. And I was really optimistic because everyone said that was great, and a lot of people got their life back from it, and I failed on that. It didn't work. And then they gave me another one called Actemra, which was also a needle, and it gave me my mobility back. I could actually walk down 3 stairs straight after having the first dose, and I was so excited, like I hadn't been able to do that for years. And then I ended up suicidally depressed, and because it was a brand new medication, they hadn't had any sort of long-term real life data on its side effects, and unfortunately that was one of the side effects for me, and we didn't know that at first. I just thought I was going crazy, and that's when my sister disowned me because she didn't want to deal with me in that state, which sucked because I'd moved to America just to be closer to her because I knew I was going to need family support given my health issues. And then I came back here to Australia because my doctor was like, come back here, we've got the systems here that'll look after you. You know, we can put you on disability, we can look at getting you social housing. There is a safety net here that you won't have in America. So I came back. Anyway, that's a really long, kind of winded way of explaining that when this is happening with Pixie, that triggered a lot of that anxiety for me, because I did not want her to be put through what I had been put through, as far as the vet's suggestion was, look, let's try this combination of meds. I'll see you in 2 weeks and we'll see how we go. And that had already happened twice, and yeah, I just was like, no. And in the end, it was working with, you know, a really forward-thinking doctor in Mullaney who got me into Wim Hof and embracing cold shower. I always turn the shower to completely cold for the last 2 minutes of my shower. Now, that water coming out, it's been getting down to like very low single digits overnight, and that water comes from underground. So, needless to say, the water's dang cold. I enjoy it now. I used to, like the first time, like this, and Wim Hof's like, no, just let your body do what you got to do, and do that. So that's been a big part of things. Red light therapy, which is early morning sunlight on your full body as often as possible, grounding, and the carnivore diet. These were all things that I was able to heal and get completely off medication. Since this has all happened, like I told you, I had gotten really sick at the end of my trip. Basically, I got, yeah, and that was probably from being on antibiotics in hospital, eating crap food because I didn't have choice in hospital. Oh, look at that, so good. I've just taken it off to cool down because my little baby pan in my kitchen here was way too hot. I'm gonna flip this little pancake over. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Oh, look at that. I've been able to really focus on my healing at the same time as focusing on Pixie's. I've been really quite stringent on my diet. Christy, who's been just like over the top, sent me this donation with the cutest message, and she was like, oh, you said in your last video, let them eat cake, and that was the one when I was talking about, you know, things to stockpile and stuff, to have a bit of a prepper pantry, and I was kind of chuckling at the fact that everyone stocks up on flour and sugar, and I think, well, are they going to cook cakes in a disaster food situation? Like, that won't sustain you. Like, I'm looking at protein sources and nutrient dense things that are easily stored, and that's why sardines, oysters and ghee obviously are my main things. Beans for in case, like beans and rice and that kind of stuff are my if I can't get meat and eggs. But anyway, she sent me this donation and she said, you said this, let them eat cake. Well, here's something so that Lisa can eat steak. And I was just like, oh, so thankful, because I've been living on mince for months now because it's just the cheapest meat option available. And so I went and got myself some big fat Scotch fillet steaks. I put it in the air fryer. I got some mainland organic butter, which is my favorite, which I haven't been able to get for ages, just been on a budget, you know. And I've been really enjoying that. So thank you, Christy, for letting me eat steak. So, and with the eggs, you know, I found pasture raised like this. They tell you on the box, they tell you how many hens per hectare, and often it's like thousands. This place has 200 hens per hectare, and these eggs are the best eggs I've ever had, better than free range. And that's the thing, the two most important things that I try to get as close to natural and nutrient dense as possible is butter and eggs. I try and get grass-fed or pasture-raised eggs and things like that. But when it comes to just living cheap and you can only afford mince, well, you eat mince, right? So, but I've been doing all this, and I stopped taking my medication as well. And it's only been a week so far, but it's not really wood. It's some kind of crappy plasticky melamine stuff. But touch wood, so far so good. I haven't had any pain because that's all I've been eating is and I think the gelatin is really helping with that. I'm cooking the gelatin pancake, having that once a day, a tin of sardines and tin of oysters on occasion because I just feel like something extra, and then steak and butter for dinner. And last night I did cook up some mince because I need to go get some more steak at some point, but I've got 10 kilos of mince in my freezer, so I was like, I'll just use that. We're both doing really well, and I'm so stoked to give you good news because hate's a terrible word. I really feel uncomfortable divulging my struggles, I do tend to put on a brave face, and it's something that I've not had a good reception from in the past. Like I said to you, when I reach out for help from family, when I was really struggling and I really needed help, the reactions I've gotten have been so devastating to me that it's kind of taught me to feel a little bit uncomfortable about even sharing that I need help. So very, but I remind myself, like, apart from the odd dickhead comment, which I'm actually getting a lot better at just letting it slide. And the reason why is because you guys, like, and you know who I'm talking to, you know if I mean you, right? You core group of, there's supposedly 6,500 subscribers, but I'd say my core group is probably around 20. There's 20 people who I really feel genuinely have my back, and I feel that really are okay with me talking about something that isn't about an adventurous road tripping thing. It's just the things I'm dealing with as a human being, because that's what this channel is about. This is not just a van life channel. This is a channel about my life and the ups and downs and the journey that I go through as a human soul trying to navigate her way best through the world. So yeah, I just so appreciate the fact that you guys have given me so much. You've lifted me, you literally have been like that song, The Wind Beneath My Wings. The fact that you've made me feel okay when I've literally been told all my life that I'm not. I've never fitted in. I've never felt truly accepted, and I've said this to so many therapists over the years, like, I just want to be known, seen and accepted, and that was just so hard for me that I just tend to just hide away, and I still do. I isolate ridiculous amounts because it is a safe way to live, and I'm anxious about interacting with other people that can seem enthusiastic at first, but then at some stage will make you feel crap about yourself. And unfortunately, those type of experiences kind of weigh up on each other and stack up on each other, and then unfortunately the brain is like, do anything at all costs to avoid that happening. So sharing tough stuff is not something that I feel comfortable with, but I remind myself, try and change the wiring a little bit, because it's like there are human beings out there that genuinely care and who are interested in things that aren't just me road tripping around the world. Now, having said that, I do have some interesting news about that, but it is going to be a really long video as it is, I think, and I don't really want to. I've got lots to tell you, but I know my videos will be getting ridiculously long because I rant and ramble. I really just wanted this video because so many of you were asking, how's Pixie, how's Pixie? This video is really just to say she's doing great. Again, touch wood, it's only been, I think it's been 2 weeks since the vet appointment. Something like that. Was it a week? You know me with time. What is time? Time is an illusion. The time is now. She's doing really great so far. Like I said, coughs on occasion, every day, every other day, cough, 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 and then it stops. Sleeping through the night, bouncing around like a puppy dog, no medication, just 100% natural. Oh, look. Someone gave me a rose yesterday. Unfortunately, it was quite a warm day and it got wilty. But isn't it pretty? It's just a random stranger gave me a rose. A girl, by the way, not a boy. Oh my gosh, can I tell you some stories about... Anyway, in amongst all the drama that I've been dealing with, I actually had a full-blown stalker experience. I haven't wanted to talk about that because said stalker was also watching my YouTube. So, yeah, that was a lot of source of stress and anxiety and amongst everything else as well. But I'm hoping, now that the police have been involved and pretty much told him to leave me alone, that will be the last of that, and I can maybe talk about that at some stage, about what happened and why I'm more cautious than ever about being pursued by random men. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate men. I think you're all lovely, most of you. Well, not all, some of you are dickheads, but yeah, I'm not looking for anything. I'm really happy in my little bubble. Peaks and valleys, just life. I'm getting better at just riding them now, and at the moment, I wouldn't say it's a peak, but we're at a nice median point where things are going good. So I'll post this update today for you guys because I've been trying to get to it for ages. It's really hard for me to motivate myself sometimes to just do a simple thing like turn the camera on and record a video. What's that about? I don't even know. But anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for everyone who's been so helpful. And I know I might, at the point of, there were so many comments on Pixie's thing that it actually got very overwhelming for me, and I kind of was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like every time someone suggests something, and I know this is my own, you know, silly trauma brain, but when people suggest things, sometimes it makes me feel like, yeah, just a little bit like underestimated. Because I'm like, you think I haven't thought about that? You think I haven't been researching that like a crazy person, like obsessively every night? I'm like on YouTube and Google and just searching for answers and solutions. There's nothing I wouldn't do or try to heal my dog. And so it kind of was like, you know, especially when somebody suggested on the shorts that associated with the video that, you know, oh, take her to a vet. You know, they watched the first couple of minutes of the video, take her to a vet, take her to a vet. Of course I took her to a vet. Like, you're insulting my intelligence, basically, and you're underestimating me, and that's going to offend me. So I don't mean to be snappy at some of you if I was in the replies with your obviously well-meaning and kind suggestions, which, you know, I have to look at from a place of love and caring. But it was starting to get a little bit hard for me sometimes to feel that you didn't think that I would take those most basic measures and consider those things. So yeah, I do. I'm a journalist, you know, like I research shit. So I'm doing my very best. I hope you're all doing well. Crazy world situation is, you know, just something that I'm choosing not to participate in more at the moment because that was just not, I just didn't need that extra stress in my life. So I'm just not participating in it. I'm reading books and getting really into a few books that I'll share with you, and just grounding and connecting and feeling gratitude and appreciating everything I've got. And it's a lot easier to do now that I'm feeling a lot more confident about what's going on with my dog. So that's it from me. I'm going to eat this pancake now, but I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Bye.